Welcome back to 15 Lanes Talk, Game Week 7 review show. We are going to talk about all the games that happened all over the weekend as we saw Arsenal moving on the top of the table heading into the international break. Liverpool dropping points, Chelsea, Manchester United and Spurs getting back to their winning ways, and finally Manchester City keeping momentum. Let's go! Manchester United 2, Sunderland 0. We all know Manchester United had to bounce back to their winning ways heading into the international break. Ruben Amorim and his men, if they did not win this game against Sunderland, they were going to be the talking point during this international break and the pressure was going to mount. You understand, on Ruben Amorim, because this game was really important. If they lost, it was going to be the final nail in the coffin for Ruben Amorim career. But some of the talking points here, we are going to talk about Benjamin Sesko. Benjamin Sesko has now scored back-to-back goals for Manchester United in the Premier League. He so far now has 2 goals in the Premier League for Manchester United. And also Mason Mount, who was back from injury, was on the score sheet. And he really looked good in this Manchester United team, and he also understands this system. Maybe that's why Ruben Amorim picked him over Matthias Cunha. We also Matthias Cunha was dropped to the bench for Mason Mount, even if Mason Mount was just coming back from injury. You understand? And Bryan Mbeumo, my guy, Bryan Mbeumo really looked good. Since I told you, every time I come here and I tell you, Bryan Mbeumo, since he stepped in Carlington, he has not put any foot wrong. He provided an assist for Mason Mount to score his goal in that win over Sunderland. We saw Lemens, the new goalkeeper of Manchester United, making his debut. We have been calling for him to start for Manchester United in the past 2 weeks, and we're asking, why is Ruben Amorim not starting him? The guy really looked good in his Manchester United debut, where he made a clean sheet. And it was the first clean sheet of Manchester United this season, the Premier League. He was coming out for crosses, even saved one shot from Granit Xhaka. So the guy really looked good for Manchester United in his debut match. Manchester United in this game created a lot of chances, but the positive is that they never folded. Every time Manchester United has been playing, they create chances, they have some moments in the game, but when the pressure comes, they fold and they lose the game. But this time around, they never folded, they kept the momentum going. But now the big question is Manchester United going to keep this same momentum after the international break? Or Ruben Amorim is going to fold again? Leeds 1, Spurs 2. In our preview show, we talked about whether Spurs will be able to bounce back to their winning ways heading into the international break after back-to-back draws in the Premier League in the past 2 weeks. But Spurs did not disappoint. It did so. It got back to their winning ways after humbling and embarrassing Leeds United 2-1. But some of the talking points in this game are Mohamed Kudus. We saw Mohamed Kudus getting his first goal for Tottenham Hotspurs. Since he was signed from West Ham, he has been playing really well, trying to pull the strings for Spurs and also making things for Spurs happen. He's one of the best wingers in the Premier League at the moment, out of the 7 games so far played in the league. In the same game, he also provided an assist to Telles, which made him man of the match. Yes, and on the other hand, also Vicario was very important for Spurs, making some important saves that helped to keep Spurs in the game. You understand? So that they can secure the 3 points after the back-to-back draws in the Premier League in the past 2 games. Leeds created a lot of chances in this game, but their finishing was really poor. Really poor. Spurs won this game, but they had a lot of individual mistakes that Leeds did not capitalize on. If Leeds went on to capitalize on on Spurs' individual mistake, maybe they would have got a point in this game. So this international break is going to help Thomas Frank to reflect on those individual mistakes and also to see the way forward if we come back from the international break. Brentford 0, Manchester City 1. In our preview show, we talked about this and said each team is going to try to finish strong as we head into the international break. So some managers would get some relief, and Manchester City did so. We all know the G-Tech Stadium has been a very hard place for Manchester City to visit in the previous season. Really struggled a lot while facing Brentford at their community stadium, but they won this time around. And some of the talking points in this game are Erling Haaland. We saw Haaland scoring his 7th goal, making him the top scorer of the Premier League going into the international break with 7 goals. Haaland has been carrying Manchester City this season, though they have not really City have not really looked good this season, but it's all about Haaland. We have seen even right now Manchester City have changed their tactic. They are going very long so that Haaland can fight for the ball. We saw that goal against Brentford. Vardy went long and Haaland had to fight with the defenders and made it look really easy. He just boarded the defender, got the space and shot and scored the goal. Right now Haaland is carrying Manchester City like Harry Kane used to do with Spurs. Van Persie during his time at Arsenal were looking for only Van Persie. Spurs used to look for only Harry Kane, and he does the rest. That's the situation right now Manchester City is in. The previous Manchester City, they had a lot of options. Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, David Silva, and Sterling, Maris. But right now we see they are only focusing on Haaland. They have changed even their tactics. Guardiola has changed his tactics. They are only going long so that Haaland can fight with the defenders. And in this game also, we saw Rodri walking off the pitch with an hamstring injury. Rodri has been trying to pick up momentum, and now he has got another setback. The good thing, the only positive here, we have gone into the international break, which means there is no football in these 2 weeks. So it's going to give, we are just waiting for the report, from the medical report. We see how long will he be out. You understand? So that's a real big blow for Manchester City. This match of Manchester City versus Brentford, it was a milestone for Pep Guardiola to be the fastest coach to reach 250 Premier League wins in the fewest matches, 349. Manchester City dominated the halftime in this game. They were really good in the halftime, but in the second half, Brentford tried to bounce back, but the big Italian goalkeeper Donnarumma also came in and made a lot of saves in the second half, keeping Manchester City in the game and also earning himself a clean sheet. Arsenal 2, West Ham 0. Now Arsenal, as we head into the international break, they are on top of the Premier League table with 1 point. Some of the talking points in this game were it was a one-sided match as Arsenal dominated the whole game. Yeah, it was like a no contest. The only thing West Ham did, they were very compact. They were very compact at the back and made it very hard for Arsenal to break them down. But finally, they did, and Arsenal just went on to win 2-0. We saw Saka playing his 200th Premier League game for Arsenal and also contributing 100 goals for Arsenal. Rice went on ahead to haunt West Ham. Rice was everywhere in this game. He dominated that midfield. But at the end of the day, he walked off the pitch with an injury. So there will be some assessment, and he may miss the international break as he will stay in London Colony for further checkup, and we will know the length of his injury. Is it serious, or Martin Odegaard left the pitch with an injury in halftime? Also, he will be out of the international. He will be out of the international duty. So we want to know the length of the injury because he got a knee injury. But Victor Gyökeres, he has now gone 5 games in the Premier League without scoring any goal. This has started his form is concerning. You understand? He has not been getting the service he needs to hurt teams. He has been trying, his overall game is trying to improve, but at the end of the day, you need your striker to be scoring goals. You understand? He did not score against Man City, he did not score against Liverpool, he did not score against United, now against West Ham. He has to bury those matches. No excuse. Calafiori really looked good in this West Ham game. He was everywhere. You understand? Calafiori was everywhere, and right now he's becoming one of the best left back in the league because he has not put any foot wrong so far this season. He has been everywhere, improving each game. Each game is trying to improve. And is it now time for Arteta to let go of the handbrake if he needs to win the Premier League this season? Because if we see the next 5 fixtures of Arsenal and Liverpool, Arsenal have more favourable fixtures, more winnable fixtures than Liverpool. So is it time for Mikel Arteta to let go of the handbrake to see that Arsenal can play in the high gear so that they can win the Premier League, or is he going to still play with the handbrake on? You understand? Unless Victor Gyökeres is going to the international duty, it will help him pick back his form, because Arsenal really need him to see that he starts scoring goals. You understand? Right now, Arsenal is one of the best teams in the league. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. In our preview show, we said both teams are going in this game hoping to bounce back to their winning ways. But Chelsea came out on top as we head into the international break. But some of the talking points in this game are Liverpool again tested their own medicine with that late winner from Chelsea by Estavio Williams. You understand? So back-to-back games as Liverpool test their own medicine, because this was a trick they have been using to win games this season, leaving it late. We have seen Liverpool losing 3 games in a row, 1 in the Champions League and 2 in the Premier League. It's really not looking good for Arne Slot. He needs to fix up this after the international break. And their fixtures after the international break, their next 5 fixtures are not going to be very easy as we think. These next 5 fixtures may also be the title deciders. You understand? Liverpool spent a lot of money on attackers and their defense. They forgot about the defense, and we have seen it again. This season, their defense has been struggling. They have already conceded 11 goals. You understand? They got clean sheets in the game against Arsenal and Burnley. And Arsenal, the clean sheet was there because Arteta never took advantage of this Liverpool team. He came to play football with a handbrake. But if he had come out to attack Liverpool, Arsenal would have won maybe that game, or they would have at least got a goal in that game. And we saw Isak providing an assist for he provided an assist for Gakpo, but he's still not looking like the Isak we saw at the Isak of Newcastle. Maybe after the international break, we'll be back on his form. Right now, he's going back to Sweden to play the international football with less pressure. And we see how Liverpool are missing Trent, because Trent used to detect the game from the back with his long passes, those through balls, everything, even though he was not good defensively, but attacking-wise, Trent was him. You understand? He would create anything out of nothing. And let's talk about Caicedo. Caicedo, right now, is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. We know he had a slow start at Chelsea. The 1.5 season, he was not really looking up to speed, but right now he has settled in very well, and he's delivering. Each game he's delivering for Chelsea 7 and above rating. And let's talk about Arne Slot and Federico Chiesa. What problem does Arne Slot has with Federico Chiesa? Because even last season he had put Federico Chiesa on sale, but we don't know, because Federico Chiesa last season had a lot of injuries and he ended up staying at Liverpool. But this season, the guy has been, every game he has been playing really well. But we don't know why he never played against Chelsea. And even he was left out of the Champions League squad for Liverpool. He's not there in the Champions League. Maybe they will add him when Liverpool qualifies to the knockout stages. Salah, again, he ghosted. We thought that due to the heavy squad rotation against Galatasaray, Salah is going to come in this game against Liverpool to light up everything, but again he ghosted. Florian Wirtz now 9 games, 0 assists, 0 goals. You don't know what's wrong. Yes, we don't know what's wrong. And Frimpong was unused sub. We saw even Ryan Gravenberch again playing in the defense. Things are not really looking good for Liverpool at the moment. Maybe Arne Slot will use this international break to rethink. Because every game we see him, he changes his squad, his formation. Sometimes he plays there, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Vats. Like he's always changing. We see Szoboszlai in the right back, Szoboszlai, yeah. 9 players of Chelsea were out injured. You understand? But on the other hand of Chelsea, Enzo Maresca needed this game. He needed this win because he was also being on the sack list. He was considered to be sacked. So if he lost this game, maybe we would see this week that Enzo Maresca is sacked. So he needed this game really, really bad. And again, Chelsea have got their third red card consecutive. You understand? So right now, Liverpool, they need to figure out a way how they are going to bounce back, because I think even Arne Slot now he's figured out. Understand? In the post-match interview against when Liverpool were going to play Chelsea, Arne Slot said they signed Florian Wirtz, all the players they signed this season, they were signed because they wanted to break down low blocks. But now the players are not up to speed. Florian Wirtz is not up to speed. Every time Arne Slot is changing his system. He's not changing the system, but he's changing players who are going to start. Florian Wirtz, he doesn't have confidence, but again, he keeps dropping him. And the bigger thing in this game was we saw the most expensive players, they were at the pitch at one time. We saw Enzo Fernandez was there, Moses Caicedo was there, and Isak was there, and also Florian Wirtz.